Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, you're going to see some unbelievable footage of something doing some incredible maneuvers in the nighttime sky, and the viewer that took this video footage was quite taken back at the sheer speed of what he saw as he was filming a storm. We're going to come back and take a look at that here in a moment. And something else showed up in some photos that were sent in by Sheena of a recent monsoon out here in Arizona. She was filming the monsoon from Mesa, Arizona, when a strange light appeared in that storm. But this one remained stationary. We're going to look at both of those videos here in just a moment. But first, over here at the website, today's feature photo was sent in by Shelly out of Clearwater, Florida. You can see a very photogenic shelf cloud low to the ground, stretching out across the coastline there near Clearwater, Florida, as storms were rolling through her area. Quick look at the Schumann resonance. You can see it's back up and running. A little bit of activity on the 14th. That was yesterday. A series of spikes in between the 10 o'clock Universal Time and around 19 Universal Time for about 9 hours. There were a series of strong spikes. Not anything major, but just persistent. Today's a different story. No spikes, but there's an absence of data. Between 14 and 15 Universal Time, there was an absence of data for unknown reasons. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. A little bit of earthquake activity scattered around the seismographs at the caldera, albeit small, but nevertheless, those are earthquakes at a supervolcano caldera, and that's something that we check in on every day. Looking at the Sahara sand situation, you can see it's still persistent. The environment out here is just not conducive for the formation of hurricanes. They're trying. You can see some rotation out here in the middle of that sand plume, but this one here is probably not going to form. This one here in front of the sand may have a chance. In fact, the models are already calling this a tropical storm. Could be a hurricane, and it looks like right now it's headed towards Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic over the next 5 days, and possibly up into the Bahamas. But we'll keep a close eye on that and see how well it stays together. Right now, it's out in the middle of that sand, but as you can see over here, when I click on the dry air feature, you can see the storm system is completely surrounded by dry air. And behind this storm, there's another center of rotation, but as well, it's surrounded by dry air. So as long as that dry air is like that, at least in that capacity, more than likely we're not going to see many hurricanes out here, at least for the time being, in the Atlantic Ocean. Coming over here to the Lake Mead Water Database, we're looking now at 5 days in a row of positive change in the water content at the Lake Mead Reservoir, as the outflow has been less than the inflow, creating a positive change at Lake Mead. And there's millions of people that depend on the Lake Mead Reservoir as a primary source of water, and I'm one of those people. So always good to see a positive change over here at Lake Mead. However, going upriver, looking at Lake Powell's, not the same scenario up here. The outflow is far superseding the inflow, some days by nearly double, creating a negative change in the overall water content at Lake Powell. So remember, Lake Mead's overall success depends on how well Lake Powell does. And right now, the water has not gone up in several days. In fact, it's been several months that the water has seen a positive change at Lake Powell. Okay, I want to take you guys now to the skies of planet Earth. We're going to start up here in the International Space Station. Video footage sent in by Joe, who's out of Spokane, Washington. He noticed this white orb on the 12th of September. And here we go. Mystery object appears down here in the bottom of the screen, moving at a high rate of speed in the field of view in the ISS live cam, going from what appears to be south to north. And the space station is moving left to right, basically from west to east. Here's the entire field of view. You can see the object appear down here. Looks like some sort of a white And here's the wide view of this object, whatever it may be, and you can see it's moving at a high rate of speed through the entire field of view. It cleared it very quickly. It looked like some sort of a white orb in the sky above planet Earth. Okay, this next video has narration that was sent in by Michael R. from an undisclosed location, and here we go.
Oh, it's still there. Now it's flashing. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that, look at that. Oh, you're coming on over. Come on, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
See how it just took off at a high rate of speed? It was sitting here, not moving. Then all of a sudden it got real bright and took off very quickly from left to right, stopped again. And at one point, it kind of disappeared. And Michael was very taken back by this object, whatever it was. Didn't appear to be making any sound. It was just very bright and very fast. And again, it looks like the evening sky or the early morning sky. Not sure of the location. Waiting to hear back from Michael on his location. Now we're going to Mesa, Arizona. This video too has narration. It's of a recent monsoon, and you're going to see a mysterious light appear in the sky, and this is not a reflection. Here we go.
I'm readjusting my camera.
And they see this object.
Is there a light up there?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a great question.
You see it in the camera?
Yeah.
Okay, Sheena and her friend were standing here viewing the storm, the monsoon, and they both noticed this light appear in the field of view. It didn't just appear in the camera. They both saw this light appear in the sky behind the clouds, and it didn't move. It almost looks like two lights, one here and one here, but it remained stationary the entire time that they were filming, and it did not move. And you can see the reflection from this bright light right here, this orb right up here that's moving around. That's a reflection off of that light right there, and you can see it moving around a little bit as she's moving the camera around. But that object right there, whatever it is, appeared in the field of view and did not move the entire time. And it's not something from the ground. That's something up in the clouds. Otherwise, you'd see a beam coming up from the ground, and more than likely it would be moving around. And again, this object did not move the entire time they were filming the video. Unlike this video here of an unbelievable high-speed craft in a sky that involved yet another storm. And these clouds look similar to the clouds that Sheena saw out here in Mesa, Arizona. There was a storm over here that was producing lightning, and James was filming the sky, hoping to get some lightning, and he filmed this on September 5th of 2022. You're going to see an object come into the field of view very, very fast. I have to slow it down so you can see it. It goes into the clouds up here. He sees it when it pops out down here, stops, and then takes off again. And I'll show you guys that it does come in from the top, drops down, and then darts out to the left very, very quickly, unlike anything I've ever seen before. And here we go.
Here, that's UFOs, mate, I've got it. It flew up and went like that.
Okay, that was the original video at original speed. Now I'm going to zoom in. Watch down here. You're going to see it down here. Take off. You see that? So I'm thinking maybe, okay, this could have been a hummingbird, but I did some research on hummingbirds, and hummingbirds aren't normally out at night. They don't feed during the nighttime hours. So a bird to pull off a maneuver like that would be next to impossible unless it was a hummingbird, I suppose. And anyway, you're going to see this thing comes into the cloud up here. Something comes down and comes out over here. Watch. I'll zoom in, and you guys will be able to see it. See that right there? See it took off down there? That thing was moving at unbelievable speed, and it was in the clouds. It wasn't something that was in front of him. See, watch. See that? Started up here and went down here. Somebody up in British Columbia filmed something like that just a few days ago that came down out of the clouds and went behind a mountain. And I'll share that story with you guys here in the next day or two, but it was very similar to what this man saw. Here, I slow it down. You can see it come in the clouds up here, comes out down here, stops, and takes off. Just incredible. I couldn't even guess how fast that thing was moving. Look at that. See how it stops? I put that in pause just for a second, and then it took off again. But it basically stopped in midair on its own. Here I zoom in really tight, slow it down. Watch up here. You can see some activity right there. Something comes down and then up, stops, and takes off again. Unbelievable. It reminds me of the Tic Tac or something that the pilot saw. He couldn't get over how fast it was moving in the sky. This is a white object like we saw from the International Space Station. Saw something above the Earth moving through the sky, very high up in the sky. This here's down low in the storm clouds like we saw over here in Mesa, Arizona. This light here showed up in the clouds, did not move. This light here was the complete opposite. It showed up and was moving very, very quickly. Have no idea what this was. I found it quite incredible. Wasn't a bug, wasn't a bird. It was something that entered the clouds up there, high in the sky, right up in here, dove down, and then took off again to the left. It came in, moving from left to right, it looks like. You can see the light up there at the top of the screen right here. See the light? Then it dives down and takes off, unless there's two. But he was quite taken back by this activity as he was filming the storm. He was waiting on lightning over here. You can see lightning off to the left, and this thing entered the field of view, whatever it may be. And whatever this thing was, it was moving super fast. There may have been two. You saw some activity up here in the top of this cloud, and then something comes up out of the bottom down here and darts to the left. There you can see a pretty good view of it up there. I mean, all of this transpires in like less than a second. I mean, it shows up and then disappears. Look at that. Watch, here we go. Why don't we see it? 1001, 1000, second and a half. Shows up, does a maneuver, and then it's gone, completely out of sight. And again, the viewer was quite taken back by what he saw here. He was telling his friends that he saw something in the sky as he was filming a storm like Sheena was out here in Mesa when something appeared in the sky. And a young lady up in British Columbia filmed something similar that came down out of the clouds and went behind a mountain. And in fact, if you look real close at this photo from the article out of British Columbia, you can see the white object right here as it's falling through the sky as it came out of the clouds and went extremely fast down behind that mountain. Story out of British Columbia. I'll share that with you guys in the next day or two. Great job, guys. Keep the photos and videos coming. If you have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. If you have any videos you'd like to share that won't attach to the email for whatever reason, you can come over here to the homepage of the website, click on this red tab, simply drag and drop your video in there. Please include your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.